it's Alice, and because it is spring, it's time to do some spring cleaning of my bookshelves. So today we are doing a book purge. These videos are usually pretty long, so we should probably just get started, but as I do every year, I will be going through my shelves and getting rid of books that I don't want to keep anymore for whatever reason, and I'll be donating them to a local school that have an annual flea market to raise money for their music program. I do that every year as well, and it's just a good excuse to do some cleaning up and some organizing. So yeah, let's just get started. We're gonna start at this shelf right here. This is sort of like my dark academia shelf, so I have a lot of my dark academia books here, and I know of a few, at least here, that I can get rid of. This is also where Marvin lives, my beautiful bird lamp. But I think here, I'm not gonna get rid of any of these. I recently read this, loved it, love this, love this, so I have a lot of my favorites here, and then I have a lot that I need to read. But over here you can see I have 2 editions of Catabasis, and the reason for that is that I was given the paperback for Christmas, and I probably don't need to keep 2 of these. Even though I usually prefer paperbacks, I do think I am gonna keep the hardback because this is the one that I read, and it's kind of like a cool edition, and I think that I'm gonna give this paperback to one of my friends who I think would like this. This I still want to read. A lot of these I still want to read. Love this one. So these ones are gonna stay. Down here though, I'm gonna move some of this stuff out of the way. I am gonna get rid of this book. This is An Education in Malice, and obviously this is a beautiful book, but I read this and I liked parts of it, but I'm never going to read it again, and I don't think I would widely recommend it, so I'm going to get rid of it. And I think I'm also going to get rid of this. This is also a very pretty book, and again, there were parts of this that I really enjoyed, parts I didn't enjoy as much, but I'm never going to read this book again, and I don't think I'm interested in reading the sequel either, so yeah, it's time to go. These I'm going to keep though, and this, which I got pretty recently. This is not a dark academia book, but it's still here. This is a book that I keep saying that I'm going to get rid of in these book purges, and I keep putting it back on my shelves. So I'm not going to do that this time. I am at some point going to try and read this book. The reason I keep trying to get rid of it is I don't think I'm going to like it, but it just feels like a book I have to try, so it's staying. Actually getting rid of 2 books means that I can fit this here, and it looks a little bit neater. And now I have like space here to put even more books. We are gonna move on to these big shelves very soon, but have a bit of a situation here. So we have this whole book tower, and this is mostly new books, and I would like to fit some of these on these shelves. But there are also a few books here that I've read that I don't think I need to keep. These books at the top here are all new, and I'm super excited to read them, so I'm gonna keep these ones. Really want to fit these on my shelves because the first one is on my shelves. But I have read this, for instance, which I did like, but I don't feel like I really need to keep. So I actually enjoyed this, and I really like this author. I read Broken Girls by her a few years ago, and I loved it, which is why I picked this one up. This wasn't my favorite, but I think it's just personal preference, and I really want to read more from this author, but yeah, I don't really feel like I need to keep this one. These next ones, haven't read most of these. A lot of these I want to read. I have read this though, and again, it's kind of the same thing where I enjoyed it, but I don't feel like I need to keep it. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. Again, it's a mystery novel, and I enjoyed it. Liked it, but didn't love it. Then a lot of these I have not read. There are some like witchy books here. Very excited to read this one. And this is actually a book that I really liked, but I do think that I can give it to someone in my life, like a kid or something, who would like this. This is actually a graphic novel, and it's about this little girl who finds a skull. And I really enjoyed it, but it is definitely for kids, so I don't think I'm ever gonna read this again. But I do have some slightly morbid kids in my life who I think would like this. The rest of the books here are books that I have not read. As you can see, I'm very optimistic about how many books I'm going to be able to read. I have read this, I guess, but I want to keep that. So, yeah, I think that's it for this stack. I gotta say, I do think this stack of books, like, it's really tall, and it just makes me laugh because I'm so optimistic slash delusional about how many books I'm gonna be able to read, but I still believe that I will one day get to all of these. Let's begin the main job though, which is like looking at all of these books. I am gonna like skip the classics that I have because I never really purged them, and I'm gonna focus mostly on all of these other books. We're gonna start on this shelf here, and here we have a lot of like contemporary books and like literary fiction, and love this one, haven't read, love. I think I can get rid of this one because I tried reading this and I couldn't really get into the writing style, and it seemed kind of weird, but like not weird in a way that I like. And I bought this book because it's a translated book and I love reading translated books, but sometimes I get them and they're just not for me. I also think I'm gonna get rid of The Mars Room. I know some people tell me that I'm gonna love this, but I've tried to read it twice now and I cannot get into this book, so I don't think I'm ever gonna read it. Days at the Murasaki Bookshop I'm gonna keep. Boy Parts I'm gonna keep, even though it's really messed up. I'm gonna keep this and these. These books I really want to read soon. I think I'm gonna get rid of this one though, because I just don't think I'm ever gonna read it, and I was really interested in it when I bought it, but it's been years now and I've never really felt an inkling to pick this up, so I think I'm just gonna let it go. Still want to read this one, love this one. This is one of my favorite books ever. These I'm gonna keep. I'm wondering if I should get rid of this one though. I really loved this one, but I don't know if I would love it as much now, and I don't think I'm ever gonna read it again because it's kind of like harrowing. So I actually think maybe I'll give this to one of my friends who I think might like it. Sometimes when I get rid of books, it feels better to give it to a friend than actually like get rid of it like totally. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm gonna give this to a friend. These books I still want to read. No, I've never read The Bell Jar, but I really should. This I really want to read. It's the same author that wrote the book I just said I loved. These ones I'm gonna keep. I am still keeping this, even though I'm not sure I'm gonna like this book. I just have to try it, and I need to read it when it's fall, so maybe next fall I will read it. And these ones I am going to keep. On the next shelf we have these books, which I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna get rid of this one though, I think. I read this very recently, I enjoyed it, and I just don't think I'm ever going to read it again, and I don't think I would recommend it that widely, so I think we can let it go. This one I love, so I'm going to keep it. Still want to read these ones. I do think I will get rid of this one though. I did say in my review that maybe one day I will reread this book, but I don't think I will, so I think we can let it go. I liked it sort of objectively. I thought this was an interesting book, but I didn't love it, and I don't really like experimental writing, which is probably why I didn't love this one. I do love this edition though, and this cover. It's so pretty, but obviously I have a little bit of a space issue, so we're gonna let it go. Big Swiss and the Mothers. Still really want to read these. Loved this one. Need to read these ones. Love this, love this, love this, and love this. Really recommend all of these. These are some of my favorite like contemporary books. Over here we also have some books that I've read. The two books that I've read by Sally Rooney that I've loved. Sally Rooney is very hit or miss for me. Either I love her books like absolutely, or I don't like them at all. But these are the ones that I've liked. Really want to read this. Love this. And then we have my Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie books. The next shelf is my dystopian shelf, and to be honest, I don't know if we're gonna get rid of anything here because I only have this one shelf, so I've just jammed all of my dystopian books in here. On the top here, we have these Norwegian books by Solveig Balle. The author is Danish, but I have these in Norwegian. We have The Handmaid's Tale, Station 11, which I loved. Really want to read this one. I do still think I want to read this one. I'm not totally sure, but I need to try it before I let it go. On the top here, this is like a really cool looking book, so I'm excited to read this. We have some Octavia E. Butler. I really need to continue on with this series. The first book really freaked me out, but I need to continue. Hunger Games. Some of these books. This is one of the most horrible books I've ever read, but it was really good. We also have this book by P.D. James, which I want to read, and then this, which I want to read. And yeah, I think I was right that I want to keep all of these ones. A lot of them are like my favorites, which is why I'm keeping them. And some of them I'm just really excited to read. I will, of course, be keeping my really cool edition of Alice in Wonderland. This is such a cool cover, I think. These I need to read. Slewfoot I love. Starling House I love. Really need to read this. And then this is the sequel to this one, actually. So I'm super excited to have that. This is one of my favorite little books. And then these are a lot of like books that I am looking forward to. Although I tried reading this last fall and I didn't really like it, what I read. So I think we can let it go. I do really like this cover. It just like gave me autumn vibes, and that's one of the reasons I got it. But because I didn't like that first part, I don't think I'm ever going to return to this. Dreadful at the top here. I am really looking forward to reading. Same with From Bad to Cursed. This one I really like. I need to get the sequel for this because I'm really excited to read it. I say I need to get it. Obviously, I don't have room for it, but I do want to read the sequel to this. Over here, though, I would actually love to hear your opinion if any of you have read this book. This is a mermaid book, The Mermaid of Black Conch. I tried to read this and I couldn't really get into it, but I'm wondering if any of you have read it. I think I'm gonna keep it and I'll see what you guys say, but I'm not sure this is for me, but I just really want to read more books about mermaids. So we're gonna keep that for now, but please let me know if you read it. Then these I'm gonna keep. Nettle and Bone is one of my favorites. A lot of these are my TBRs, some I've read, and yeah, I think these are all staying. On the bottom shelf, we have more fantasy, and as we are looking at these books, this is my annual complaint that the third book is still not out in this goddamn series. I love these books. They're some of my favorite fantasy books, but I've been waiting for the third book for like 15 years. I don't know if it's ever coming out. I feel like it's sort of the same as with Game of Thrones. We don't really know. Maybe we'll never know, but these books are really good, so I'm going to keep them. This I'm going to keep because I really liked it. Still need to read this. Need to read the sequel here. We have Emily Wilde, which I love. Maybe it's time to get rid of this one, though. Actually, now that I've pulled it out, I'm changing my mind because this edition is beautiful. So we're going to put that back. Over here, we have The Diviners, which I really like. This, which I need to read. Still need to read this. Love this. Need to read the two sequels here and the two sequels here, actually. And this I really want to read. Really enjoyed this one. But this one I can get rid of. So this book is obviously beautiful, and this was recommended to me. And this is one of those books that I was so sure I was gonna love, and then I just did not get on with this one. I think it's because there's like a glossary in the beginning of this. There's a lot of like names and different words for things, and the glossary is like 10 pages long, and my brain could not cope. So I do think this is partly like a me problem, but yeah, I don't need to keep this one. These are some of my witch books, which I'm going to keep. Obviously going to keep Lord of the Rings, T. Kingfisher, and then these I will also keep. I do need to try this one and see if I like it, and if I don't, I will get rid of it. On the next shelf, we have a lot of these classics books. We have my Agatha Christie books, Carrie Greenwood, these Penguin English Library books, and a bunch of other classics. But I'm gonna skip all of these and we're gonna start here. So these are like my historical fiction books, and I am gonna try to be a little bit ruthless here because I just have so many of these and I need to get rid of some of them. And sometimes I just need to get rid of books that I liked that I'm never gonna read again. Like, for example, this one, which I've kept for a long time because I really liked this one, and it's a beautiful edition. But I'm just never gonna read this again. I mean, just look at this. It's so cool. It's a historical fiction book about some female boxers, and yeah, I really liked this one, but like I said, I'm never gonna read it again. Maybe again I will give this to a friend. We'll see. This I have read and I am gonna keep though because like this edition is crazy beautiful. Still need to read these. This as well. Really like this one. Oh, I really need to read this one. I have said that I was going to read this for like years now, and I just need to get on it. Really want to read these as well. I have a lot of books here that I haven't read. I'm noticing. But I have read both of these and I love both of them. Man Tiger is also a translated book that I've read and really loved. It's very weird, but I really like it. I want to read these sequels. I really liked this one, which I think I'm gonna keep. Oh, this is such a problem because I have so many books that I want to read. This I absolutely loved. It was one of my favorite books from last year, and I want to keep this because I want to read this. And then we have some Margaret Atwood and a witch book. So, not great progress, but at least we got rid of one book. Here, though, we have a book in Norwegian. This is translated from Swedish. I hate this cover, but this book is actually really good. This one is also really good, so I'm gonna keep that. I do think, though, that it is time to get rid of this book. I've had this book for maybe like a decade, and I still haven't read it, and I don't think I ever will. So I think we just need to let it go at this point. I do still want to read this, and this, and this, but this... Oh, maybe I should get rid of this one as well. It's such a cool cover, but I'm never gonna read this book again. I know this book splits opinions, but I actually really liked it. It's got some terrible moments, but it's taking up so much space. So even though I really like this one, I think I'm gonna get rid of it because I will never read it again. I also, surprisingly, am gonna get rid of this book. This is a pretty new release, and I read this like a month ago, and I just didn't really like it as much as I thought I would. I think I would still recommend it. It's like an interesting take on a vampire book, but I hated the ending of this book. I thought the ending, like the last 30 pages, almost like ruined the book for me. So yeah, I liked it, but I'm a little annoyed with it. And I just think that I don't need to keep it. And because it's a new release, I think it will be interesting for someone else to read this like now. So we're gonna pass this on. Then, oh, look at all this space. Then we have this book, which I'm gonna keep. Hamnet, of course. And these, ooh, I'm gonna get rid of this one because I tried reading this last fall and I didn't really like what I read again. So we're gonna get rid of it. It's pretty rare that I get rid of witch books, but I do have a lot of them now, so I'm trying to be a little bit more like harsh with what I keep, and I think when I'm in the mood to read a witch book now, this isn't the one that I'm gonna pick up. I feel like we're doing quite well on this shelf actually, so I'm happy with that. Then over here we have Dead Poets Society, which I'm gonna keep. All of these I think I'm gonna keep because I still really want to read them. Some of them I have read. This is a really good book, for instance. And then here we have Purge, which I want to read because I've heard a lot of good things about it. The Lost Apothecary, I want to read. Love this, love this. And these, I still want to read. On this shelf, again, we have some of these books that I've had for such a long time. I'm gonna keep The Color Purple because I love this book, but like these ones I've had for such a long time. So we have The Narrow Road to the Deep North, The Sleepwalker's Guide to Dancing, and The Light Between Oceans. If any of you have read any of these books, I'm not gonna remove them now, but if any of you have read them and like loved them, tell me, and I might like keep one or two of these and get rid of one. I don't really know, I just have a feeling I'm really gonna like these, but I forget that I have them, but they're staying for now. I do think I'm gonna get rid of this book though, because even though I loved To Kill a Mockingbird, I tried reading this and I wasn't really that into it. So I don't know if I'm really into reading a sequel, and one of my friends also has this. So if I suddenly want to read it, I can just borrow it from them. The Man with the Compound Eyes I'm gonna keep because it's really good. Want to read this. These ones I want to read. We have some John Boyne. This, all of you have told me, is amazing, so I'm gonna keep it. The Savage Instinct, I'm also going to keep. This is Fingersmith, which I read not too long ago, and it was amazing. I want to read this. I have read this and really liked it. Wondering if maybe I can get rid of this one, because I don't remember what it is. So, yeah, we're gonna get rid of that. I also think I'm gonna get rid of this actually because I've realized that I'm not as interested in reading these kinds of like retellings as I thought I was, even though this is beautiful. I don't think I'm interested in reading it anymore. The 100 Years of Solitude, one day I will read. This I will read one day. This, I don't know what this is, so I'm gonna get rid of it without looking at it too much. I'm gonna keep these ones. Ah, this cover is so good. So I am gonna keep it because this is actually a book I would recommend. This should be in the horror section though. It shouldn't, I mean it's historical fiction as well, but it's more horror than it is historical fiction, I feel. On the bottom shelf here, we have my graphic novels and then a little bit more of historical fiction and a little bit of romance. But I think for the graphic novels, I think I want to keep all of these because I only ever keep graphic novels if I actually like them. Like this one. I absolutely love The Princess and the Grilled Cheese Sandwich. Oh, this is actually a historical fiction novel as well, which I do want to read. It looks so weird. But now we can fit it on the shelf. I feel like all of these are pretty well curated. It reminds me that I really need to read this book. I'm super excited about it. So these are all gonna stay. These are like some cards that I have that I really should put somewhere else. We have these romance books. I do want to keep this because one day I want to read it and the dog looks so cute. Same with this. I'm gonna keep this because I love it. I do want to read the sequel. This is a book that I almost got rid of in a previous haul and that everyone told me I should keep it. So I did keep it, but I still haven't read it. I honestly kind of forgot that I had it, but we're gonna put it back on the shelf. The Song of Achilles is one of my favorite romance books, so of course I'm gonna keep it. Practical magic books I am gonna keep, and these, I really like this one that I've read. And I liked this. I do think I am gonna get rid of The Silence of the Girls though, because again, I don't think I am that interested in reading like mythology retellings. And I've had this for such a long time and I still haven't read it. It is a really beautiful book though, and yeah, I just don't think I'll ever read it. I am curious though to hear your opinion, if you have one, about this book, because I've had this book for a really long time and I still haven't read it, but I have a feeling about it that I'm really gonna like it, so I'm gonna keep it for now, but if any of you have any opinions, let me know. It might not look like much, but we did make some progress here, and actually also I've decided to get rid of this book because I don't think that I'm interested in reading it and I don't need to keep it, but we have some more space here. I need to clean this up, obviously, but yeah. I think this is pretty good. Okay, let's crack on with the last shelf. Here we have some adventure books, horror, short stories, mystery books, and then finally nonfiction. So we are going to go through all of this. I probably will not get rid of a lot of these adventure books because these are so hard to find and I have a lot of these that I really want to read. Although now that I'm saying that, I do think I can get rid of this book actually. I am gonna part ways with this one. I have read it. I read it not too long ago and I did enjoy it, but I don't think I'm gonna keep going with the series, mostly just because it's YA and I'm not that interested in it. And yeah, I do think the world in here was really interesting and I did like the fantasy elements and like everything we got to see with that, but yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one. I am of course gonna keep Empire of Shadows. This is one of my favorite adventure books. It's like, if you like the movie The Mummy, this is the closest book I've ever read that is sort of similar to that. But I do have another version of this book here, The Smoke Hunter. And now that I've read this, this is like a reworked edition, I think I can get rid of this one. We'll do that when we get to this stack. These I am gonna keep. This I almost got rid of last time, and because it's kind of like adventure, I'm gonna keep it. These I'm keeping. I really need to read some of these. I really like this one. So I do actually think the only other one I'm gonna get rid of is this one. Over here we have some horror books. We have some T. Kingfisher at the top here, which I will be keeping. And then, well, some of these I've read. This is really good. This is really good. And I am gonna get rid of this one, actually, because this is the only T. Kingfisher book that I've read that I didn't really like and I didn't love. And this just didn't work for me. I think I like her books more when they veer into fantasy, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. This one I really liked though, and The Twisted Ones I need to read. And then this is The Broken Girls by Simone St. James, which I mentioned earlier. Really like this one. Need to read this one. I think I can get rid of this one. I read it last year, enjoyed it, but I haven't really thought about it much since I finished it, so I don't think I'm ever gonna read it again. The last one here is a Norwegian classic horror book, which I am gonna keep. The horror books continue on this side, so we have ML Rio. I actually think I can get rid of this one, even though it is a beautiful book. I read this and I felt like I read half a book. But I do really like ML Rio, and what I got to read in here I did like, but I'm never going to read this again. Earthlings I'm going to keep. This I really liked. This I need to read. We have more Grady Hendrix. These are some of my favorite books. And then this is where the horror ends, and the rest are short stories. I already feel like I have this curated pretty well, so I do think that I am going to keep all of these. I'm super excited to read this, for instance. And these I really like, not this one, I haven't read this one yet, but these, I really need to get the last one, or the newest one, which is like The Witching Hour. But yeah, these are all staying. This next section, like these next few shelves, are all mystery novels. So let's see if we can do something here. These books I really like, I'm gonna keep these. Still haven't read this, really like this. This is one of my favorites. Then we have my Janice Hallett books, which I really like. I still need to read this one and this one. Stephen King, I don't think we're going to do a lot here, to be honest. These I really want to read when it's summer. And then these are some of like my series. I do still need to read this one. I wonder if I'm going to read this and then I'll eventually get rid of both of these, but I want to try this first. My Richard Osman books, I am of course going to keep because I love these books. I also really like how they look together. The God of the Woods is one of my favorite mystery novels ever. Really like this one. I really want to read this one, but I am going to get rid of this because I don't think I am ever going to read it. It is a really cool edition though, and I have read some books by Graham Norton and really liked them, but I have tried this one and I couldn't really get into it. These books I have really enjoyed, so I'm going to keep them. And then these are like some mystery series in Norwegian that I am reading, or like crime books. So I'm going to keep these ones. This is also a book in Norwegian that I'm going to keep. And then this is probably my favorite Ruth Ware, so I am going to keep that one as well. The mystery books continue on this shelf. This is a book that I really want to read, as is this one. This has a really cool cover. I still want to read this. This is an excellent book. This is an excellent sort of dark academia book. The Lost Man is my favorite Jane Harper book. I love Jane Harper, but I do think that I can part ways with this one, even though it's beautiful. I really liked this one, but I don't think I'm ever going to read it again. If I'm going to reread any of the books by Jane Harper, it's going to be The Lost Man or these ones. So we're gonna let this one go. How to Solve Your Own Murder, I also read and I enjoyed, but I don't really feel like I need to keep it. I know that there's a sequel to this that I might read it, but I don't think I need to reread this to read that. The Examiner is another Janice Hallett book, which I'm gonna keep. This I'm gonna keep. And then these from Jane Harper. I really enjoyed this one. And then these two are like books where you solve the mystery yourself, and I do really want to try these. Over here is my poetry collection, and I say this every time, but this is very well curated, so I'm not going to get rid of any of these. But there is a nonfiction book at the top here, which I read and I enjoyed, but I'm never going to read this again, so I feel like we can let it go. This does have some really cool illustrations though. It has illustrations like this, which I really enjoyed about this book, but yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna read it again, and I would give this to one of my friends, but I actually don't think any of them like reading nonfiction, so we're just gonna pass it on to someone else. This shelf is supposed to be all nonfiction, but as you can see here, we have a fiction book. This is a mystery book. This is one of the books in the series that I mentioned earlier that I really like. This is the third book. I liked this, but I didn't love it, so I don't feel like I really need to keep this, in part because I am not a huge Christmas person, so I don't think I'll ever read this again. Over here we have a book about lady poisoners, which I'm gonna keep. The Phantom Atlas, which is a really cool book. This is an art book that I'm gonna keep. A book about archaeology, which I really liked. We Are the Weather by Jonathan Safran Foer. I've had this for such a long time and I should read it, but I don't know if I ever will. So I might actually let this one go. Ooh, I don't really know, but yeah, maybe. This one I have read and really liked. I think I'm gonna get rid of this one actually because my favorite book by Ben McIntyre is The Spy and the Traitor, and I've reread that one, and I think if I'm gonna reread any of these books, that's the one I'm gonna reread again. But this was really good as well. It was very interesting. These are some true crime books that I'm gonna keep. This is a book in Norwegian. This is a book about like penguin covers, which was really interesting. Another book in Norwegian. And then these two books are some of my books about death, because I love reading about death. The Salt Path, I really want to read. This is also a memoir that's kind of weird, but I really like it. And then these ones, I think I'm going to keep all of these. I still really need to read this one and this one. This is a book about art, and this is just a book that everyone tells me I'm going to love. These ones on the top here as well, I really want to read. Then we have Charing Cross Road. This is an excellent book. I really recommend it. And these ones are some of my favorite like memoirs and stuff. This is one of my favorite books ever. This I still really need to read, but yeah, I'm gonna keep all of these. On the very last shelf we have this, which is jam-packed, obviously, with nonfiction books. So let's see if we can do something here. This is a book I'm gonna keep because it's excellent. I'm gonna keep my John Krakauer books because I really like them. And this is another book about death. This is my favorite book by Caitlin Doughty. It's really good. Over here we have this book, which I keep meaning to read. Oh, I really want to read this one as well. This is another death book. And then this is a book that I read recently. I'm sure you've all heard about this case. I'm actually going to give this to one of my friends who really wanted to read this, so she can have it. I really liked this. Obviously, it's a really brutal book, but I don't think I'll ever read it again, so she can have it. This is a book that I guess I got, and I don't really remember. I think I got this because I was interested in this person, but then it kind of looks like a children's book. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. Over here we have a book about astrophysics, which I'm gonna keep. This, which I need to read. These small books I really should read. I think I've read this one actually. And this I really want to read because one of my friends gave it to me and she thought that I would find it interesting. This is one of my favorite books about time. I really enjoyed this one. And this is a book about water that I still want to read. In the back here, by the way, it's just like a photo album that I've stuck back there, so that's not an actual book. We have this book by Stephen Hawking, which I want to read. This is a memoir from a Norwegian activist, which I'm gonna keep. These ones, I am all gonna keep. This is a book about trees that I thought was really interesting. This is the perfect book if you want to be enraged. This is a great book. These are some history books that these ones I've read and I really like. These ones I want to read. I really want to read this and this. This is one of my favorite memoirs ever. This I will definitely reread one day. This I want to read. This I want to read. This one I've read. It's another book about death. I do think I can get rid of this one though. I really enjoyed this one, but I don't think I'm ever going to read it again. So we can let it go. I still want to read these ones. I am curious if any of you have read this though, and if you have any thoughts on it. I don't know if I should keep it or not, so let me know. Educated, I'm gonna keep because it's really good. This is really good. This I want to read. This I really want to read. Also this, really like this one, and this I'm super excited to read. It's about a museum curator, which just looks really good. And then we have this book in Norwegian, which is about Norway during the war, which one day I will read. I am pretty happy with this. Obviously, I need to get another box for these books, but I would say that this is about like that book tower that I have next to my shelves, which means I should technically be able to fit all of those back on my actual shelves, which I am very happy with. Alright, that was kind of it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, thank you very much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you soon. Bye!